Universal's driving me crazy. Last night, I typed up a little outline for this video, and what do you know? Just when I thought everything was done and ready to be filmed, today, Universal made another announcement. I can't believe it. This brings our house announcement to not just one, not just two, no. Double that, 4 house announcements for 2024 already, and it's not even June. Honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if they already made another announcement by the time you're watching this video. So you're probably like, Mitchell, you're so late. They've already announced 5 houses, maybe even 6 by now. After I was almost 100% convinced that Universal was going to take a very similar strategy for announcements for HHN as they did last year. Last year, we got maybe 1 announcement in May, and they only announced the IP houses, although last year they did announce Chucky on Halloween. So let's jump right in and break these down. The first house was announced on May 17th. This particular house was a sequel of a 2018 house. Do you know which one that was? One of my all-time favorites, Slaughter Cinema, the sequel. Or this year it's the sequel. The original in 2018 was just Slaughter Cinema, so I guess that makes sense. So the description of Slaughter Cinema 2 is this. If you're dying for a B-movie horror marathon, head to the Carrie Dive-In. Scream through scenes from creature features, grindhouse, gore, spaghetti westerns, and more. Cheesy horror movies is the theme, same as Slaughter Cinema 1 in 2018. So the sequel, of course, is gonna have some cheesy horror movies. And fun fact, Slaughter Cinema 1 actually was the inspiration for not only Wicked Growth, but also the Yeti. Pretty sure it had a Yeti, right? Am I right? I don't know. Maybe I'm extremely biased because 2018 was one of my first years for Halloween Horror Nights. Obviously, I was blown away. I was used to backyard haunts, or the town an hour away from my house had a haunt, which was all right, but it's not Halloween Horror Nights. You could imagine how surprised I was when I first went to Halloween Horror Nights in 2018. I was so blown away. The immersion, the sets, the costumes, everything, the scares, the overall size, the theatrics, everything about Halloween Horror Nights blew me away. But Slaughter Cinema in 2018 was one of the first houses I ever did. It wasn't the first, but it was like probably the second or third. Now, Seeds of Extinction in 2018 was also a great house, but Slaughter Cinema was probably my second favorite that year. I'm pretty sure, second favorite. It was pretty good, but I was blown away. This is one of the first houses I actually went through where I was like, okay, this is Halloween Horror Nights. I was so nervous. The first house I ever went through, it was actually the Poltergeist house. And I almost peed myself when I was waiting in line. I was so nervous. But then after that, I was like, okay, that was pretty scary, but was that the scariest house? And come to find out that year, I think Poltergeist probably was the scariest house. So we did the scariest house first. Yeah, Slaughter Cinema was also pretty scary. But that house was so theatrical and fun. The theming, the overall ambiance, chef's kiss. The second house that they announced was a house we have never seen before. It wasn't a sequel. It wasn't based off a Scare Zone. As far as I know, it was an original, but it was speculated. And honestly, Slaughter Cinema 2 was also speculated. But back to the next announcement, Goblin's Feast. Anything kind of related to goblins or D&D, that type of medieval theme. I loved Dueling Dragons. This is right up my alley. I do love Harry Potter, and this type of fantasy is one of my favorites. So this house could possibly be my favorite this year. So let's read the description of the house. Welcome to Goblin's Feast Tavern and visit the Goblin Village, where a lavish feast is being prepared for goblins, orcs, hobgoblins, and witches. And you're the main course. So is this a D&D house? Because if it's a D&D house, I've been playing so much Baldur's Gate 3 lately, I would be so in love with this house. Please be a D&D house. I hope it's goblins, orcs. I mean, it said it in the description, so it has to be goblins and orcs, all that good stuff. Hobgoblins? Is this a Spider-Man house? I mean, come on. It's probably gonna smell exactly like Texas Chainsaw. It's just gonna smell like meat and barbecue and flesh. Gross. The third announcement was also heavily speculated, and it was Sweet's Revenge. But Sweet's Revenge was the name of the 2022 Scare Zone. That's where I got this hat, 2022. Sweet's Revenge was right in front of the Tribute store. It's basically based on Halloween night. A bunch of kids get wrangled up by Major Sweets, whatever the guy's name is. They get rallied up. He feeds them these candies. The candies turn them demonic. The kids go on a killing spree. They're murderous, running around eating candy. The candy makes them crazy, okay? That's the bottom line. And this house, the third announcement, is a sequel. 2 sequels so far. But I guess this is not a sequel to a house. This is a sequel to a Scare Zone. So technically, I don't know, not the same as Slaughter Cinema, I guess? Similar? The house is titled Major Sweets Candy Factory, so it's gonna show you how he made these diabolical, murderous candies that he gave to all the neighborhood kids for whatever reason. I mean, honestly, if you're an evil genius, that's a pretty smart plan. I'm almost 100% positive that this Scare Zone in 2022, Sweet's Revenge, won Scare Zone of the Year that year, so that just goes to show you that it was a fan favorite. The title of this house that was announced today was The Museum Deadly Exhibit. Night at the Museum? Is Ben Stiller making an appearance? R.I.P. Robin Williams, to be honest with you. Let me read the description. This house has a lot of potential. You're going to check out the Rotting Stone, the local folklore museum's infamous new exhibit. An evil spirit escapes from within, possessing the other displays and decaying everything in its path. So other museum exhibits are basically gonna come alive and they're gonna become corrupted and everything's gonna be corrupted. That's pretty much all we know. Think basically Night at the Museum, but make it horror. I think this house is gonna have a lot of potential, probably a lot of mannequin scares. Mannequin scares, and what I mean by that is like last year they had the Invisible Man mannequin scare. Basically, you have to guess which person is a mannequin and which person is real. So there's gonna be like probably mannequin cavemen because, you know, caveman, that's like the obvious museum trope, right? It's a cliche of the museum. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, well, please give me a thumbs up. That way you can help my channel grow and you can help this video grow. The algorithm will then push my video to other Halloween Horror Nights enthusiasts. Maybe subscribe down below, you know? Maybe if you like my videos, think about subscribing. That way you don't miss another video. I cannot wait for August 30th. See you in the fog.